So I'm on the BJJ Fanatics website, and I see 3 new videos by some guy named Thomas Radzinski. You familiar with that guy at all?
Nope, absolutely not.
No? Well, he's got some good stuff. 3 brand new videos. They're getting amazing reviews, which is good to see as well. But you got to tell us about them real quick?
Yeah, I had, you guys already know, but I had opportunity to go to Boston, shoot 3 more instructionals, 1 on butterfly hook, complete guide for butterfly hook, 2 wrap, lapel, and submit them, and 3 we have taking the back. It's particularly designed for guys for over 40 because there's no climbing involved. All the back takes are on the ground. Very, very full and effective system. So dip into it. I'm really hoping that this is going to help your jiu-jitsu and really take it to the next level.
BJJfanatics.com. Just search ROZDZ. We have all had that situation where after class is when we want to ask a question. And Thomas, a lot of those questions you've already answered, right, at Ask a Black Belt.
Yeah, it's another podcast that I'm running. It's on podcast, all podcast platforms, plus on YouTube. You can find it anywhere. Just search for my name. Search for Ask a Black Belt. At this point, over 100 episodes, different questions, jiu-jitsu, life-related, but something that everybody comes across, and often these questions sink in our mind, but we don't ask for whatever reason. So if that benefits you, go there, listen. It actually might help your jiu-jitsu, might help your life as well. And if you have any questions, find me on Instagram and drop me a line. I'll be happy to answer your question and mention your name during the episode.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we're live.
Here we go.
200, huh?
Yeah, we got it.
Jesus
bag.
Christ.
All done.
Lord. I know I asked you this before, but can you believe this?
No. I mean,
No, I don't. Tell me.
200. It's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. And we only have handful of returns. 3, right?
We've had Armin on twice. We've had Eli on twice.
And Alberto.
Now Alberto on twice.
So only 3 returns.
Yeah.
So 197 guests total.
I feel like there might be one more. I got a gut feeling I'd have to look.
I don't know. But even that, it doesn't. I mean, that's not the point. The point is.
So we've had,
200 episodes.
90 guests.
Yeah, 200 episodes, plus all the takeaways that we've done over the years. Wow. It's hard to believe. We're still at this. Somebody's listening.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And
it's cool. I appreciate it.
I think the way, it's cheesy to make a segue into what we're talking about today with it, but I think that's the only reason we continue to do it is because we make these connections with people. If it wasn't fun and we didn't connect with them and like, why bother,
Well, I say this, I told you this in private, when we talk off air, but like the only reason why I do this is because we get to interact with all these phenomenal people, all these personalities, all these people that normally I would not meet or wouldn't have the opportunity to talk to. And these relationships are so important, at least in my opinion. It's so cool to interact with these different individuals within jiu-jitsu community.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Like even for selfish reasons, like it's just, you know what I mean? Like, and I do know that these conversations help others put in a perspective and help them with jiu-jitsu, help them with life. And like, it's so phenomenal that in some small way that we can actually impact others by just talking to people.
I think that's what it's all about. Excuse me.
Are you yawning?
I am.
Seriously?
It's my sleepy time.
It's your nap time.
It's my, I need a second pot of coffee today. For me, that's all it's really about is connecting with people and building relationships. And I think that's why we're here. And I'm not talking just me and you on a podcast. I think that's why we're here as people is to make connections, to grow, to share things. Otherwise, what's the point? Have you ever met anybody who doesn't want to be around other people and doesn't want to share and doesn't want to, make a connection with you? They're not fun to be around. And that's not any way I would want to live my life.
Humans are, what do they call them?
Well, we're social creatures.
We are social creatures. We are designed to live in packs and do things in packs. We are not meant to be alone. As a matter of fact, you can see this everywhere. The moment we do become isolated, our minds go into, very dark places. So it's like that social component is so important. And that's why jiu-jitsu is so amazing, because it forces us to be social, forces us to connect with new people, find new people, like, how many times do we talk about jiu-jitsu? Well, Matt being an equalizer. Doesn't matter if you're a PhD or a medical doctor or an engineer or a student, like, everything comes together on the mat. We all friends, we all hang out, we all beat the crap out of each other, and then, we hug out right after that. So
yeah, and I, like, over the weekend, Professor Edgar, who you may have heard on this podcast once or twice, he and I and a couple students went to go see another student fight, a Muay Thai fight. So it was amazing. Shout out to Edward, who won his fight and walked away with another belt.
Jeez, did you see that knockout?
Yeah, I was standing right there when it happened. But what the reason I brought it up, not only to congratulate him, but table after table after table ringside, all wearing his shirt. People walking over and hugging his family, and just the smiles on the faces, and high fives, and and this is before the fight, right? This is before the fight. Everybody's congratulating him already, and you're going to do great. People that I never would have met if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu. But people have these same connections outside of jiu-jitsu too, and I think that's my point, is that who we are as people, we feed off of that, and I think that it can help make you who you are. It can make you a better person. It can make you. It can open your eyes to different things, and you have a table ringside with a lawyer and a plumber and somebody who's looking for work, and a kid and a grandparent, and it gets you out of your tribe, so to speak, and introduces you to all these different worlds, makes you more accepting of other people, gives you a better understanding of life, and what people have been through, what they haven't been through, and I just think that that's why we're here. That's all. That's what I got from it, and bring it to the episode, the connections that Alberto's made over his lifetime, and how important it is to him. It reinforces all that.
It is very refreshing to interact and hear him talk about some of these things. I feel like older I get, more I appreciate these personal connections. I feel like it's so easy for all of us to pick up this thing. If you're not watching, I'm holding a phone in my hand, and as a great tool as it is to communicate and to stay connected, I feel in some ways that we become more disconnected because of it, because everything is just, like, how often do you make a phone call? I was just talking to somebody about this.
Yeah.
How often do you make a phone call? Like, how often do you actually talk to somebody versus texting?
Right.
Like, and fine, call me old, I don't care. Like, but the point is that oftentimes we are so disconnected by the convenience of technology that we oftentimes miss that human interaction.
Right.
And this is what jiu-jitsu changes. This is what jiu-jitsu brings it back together. It's that cohesiveness of community, and then obviously we go through these struggles of jiu-jitsu and doing hard things and overcoming the challenges and continuously growing in this, hard environment of continuous troubleshooting and failing and things not working well, or us coming up with new things, and all that as a pack allows us to grow this strong relationship between people. Like, Alberto even said this, like, he doesn't know many people outside of jiu-jitsu, and like I can testify to that. Like, I know some, but probably, I don't know, 90% people I know it's from or within jiu-jitsu community. How is that for you?
So then could the reverse happen? Could through jiu-jitsu your life, your circle, your experiences get smaller? Because that's all you do, that's all you think about, that's all you...
Probably in some sense, yes. Probably in some sense there's a limitation of it. And I'll tell you that, like, I'm guilty of this. Like, there was times where, like, I talk to my neighbors or people outside of jiu-jitsu who don't have any insight to jiu-jitsu, and like the conversation is different. I love talking to them, you know what I mean? But like, I tend to I love talking to people, period. Like, I want to learn about you. I want to know what you're doing, how you doing, how things are going, and all that, and having these connections. But older I get, more I appreciate this in-person interaction.
Yeah, I listen, when the camera goes off and my doorbell goes off and there's kids out front picking up my kids, nothing makes me happier than that nowadays. And it's because I know that they're out there building relationships. They're out there figuring out problems for themselves. They're out there having fun. Sometimes they come back and things didn't go, they had some sort of altercation. Somebody said something, somebody did something, because they're kids and that's what happens. But they are out there living a life rather than watching a screen, whether it's a television screen or a camera, whatever, a device.
Yeah.
And it's because those connections. I brought it up briefly. There's a guy that came into the academy today who was referred by a member. They've been friends since 3rd grade. That stuff's amazing, right? So they've known each other.
Shout out to Anthony, by the way.
Yes. And Mike.
Your first day on the mat, and you got mentioned on the podcast.
But these people are lifelong friends. Why? Because they sat in their bedrooms on devices when they were in 3rd grade. They're younger than us. That might not have been an option quite yet for them at that age. But, my son has friends that he talks to at school a little bit and then online. I bet that the friends he has that he talks to at school and rides bikes with and does jiu-jitsu with and goes to the park with, those are going to be super strong bonds, right? Because they've had experience together. They've seen each other grow up, and they've seen each other handle different situations. And, I still have friends from when I was that age. We don't see each other very often. When we do, it's almost like no time has passed. It's through those connections that we made, or we're still connected, I should say, because of those experiences, those shared experiences. And if you don't have any shared experience, why would you stay connected? What's the point?
Yeah, no, I agree. Why do you think not as many people value that these days?
Because it's easy to turn the outside world off. It's easy to hack into the matrix, as everybody likes to say. It's easy to pick up a screen and watch reels instead of going out. It's easy. Listen, you're not feeling well for whatever reason. It's easy to come up with an excuse to not go to the function, to not go to jiu-jitsu, to not go to, your whatever class. And then you kind of retreat into this product that is there for you, right? And it's to keep you engaged, to keep money flowing, to keep, the rhythm going. So it's easy. It's easy to disconnect. It was probably much harder. So the 2 kids that my son hangs around with the most, the parents will text a lot of times, is, the boy able to hang out? Are you guys at home? Can he come over? Can one kid go there or there, whatever? Where when I was a kid, you said, I'm going over to so-and-so's house, and you had no idea if they were going to be home or not. You just went over there, you rang the doorbell, you waited. Okay, and either somebody showed up or they didn't. It forced you to step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, you had to go and see, right? So, yeah. But do you think this is Do you think this is the downfall of technology, meaning we are more disconnected, or this is a convenience of technology, meaning now the kids are safer because you check if there is somebody at home before they walk, down the street?
What difference does it make? They're going the same distance.
Well,
I know they're home. They still got to get over there.
right, but if they are not home, they are not going for no reason.
Right, but they turn around and come back. So if
But again, like there is the point of arguments where there's a safety behind all this, right? You can check if somebody's home before they even make their useless trip, right? For safety reasons, right?
Yeah.
So like, maybe this is a vague example of it, but like, there is a benefit of all this technology. And I'm playing devil's advocate right now. I'm doing Thomas right now, right? But like,
there is, but there's also the availability for me to say, we're not. He can't play.
Oh yeah, I agree.
We have other plans.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
Yes, we've talked about it before. It's like any tool. You can use it. You could abuse it. If you misuse it, you can get hurt. Right? It can be detrimental. So, as great as it is, it also gives you so much feedback that it can influence you. I know people that would never let their kid walk down the same age as mine, walk down the street, cross the street, and ring somebody.
Oh, I know. I know.
And guess what? The world isn't any less safe now than it was when we were growing up.
It's the approach of the way that the society and community is taking around,
because we have all that information. Oh my God, these awful things happen this often to this many people.
Yeah, the exposure to information is much larger, and we have a saturation of bad information as much as the good information, right? And as humans, we often focus on the negative versus positive. So like all that has a domino effect,
right? And so that type of connection, I think, can be very detrimental. It's like this kid's never gonna know the joy of riding his bike around the block with his friends, because you wanted to keep them safe. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to be resentful when they get older. These shared experiences, these connections, I think I really like they're your roots. That's what your whole life is based on. Alberto brought it up. He wasn't sure the year, the age, and I'm not either, but there is plenty of studies that have been done that say you're pretty much fully formed, by the time you're 8 years old. Why is that? That's because those early experiences and those early connections really are impactful, and other things influence you as you get older. You're capable of change and all sorts of things, but the early stuff that comes through, the early experiences, the shared experiences, I think are the most impactful. And talking about a television show or talking about a video you saw is great to pass the time. But in 10 years, are you going to talk about talking about stuff? You know what I mean? You remember when we talked about that video? That was awesome. No. Do you remember when we rode our skateboards together and, I broke my wrist and I was screaming like a little baby?
Some of the best memories I have when I fell off the trees or jumped off the roof and all the dumb things that we did as boys,
Yeah, there's stuff I'll never forget.
Yeah.
And that stuff makes you who you are. If you're never pushed and you're never challenged, you'll never challenge yourself. If your buddy says jump off the back porch and you jump off the back porch, you're probably going to be all right. And you get up and you're like, that was awesome. I was so scared. I can't believe it. And then the next time something scary comes up, that's ingrained in you. It's in the back of your head that I jumped off that porch that time. Me and Tony Petrelli, who I haven't seen since second grade, took a mattress out of his house, put it under the second floor porch, and just started jumping off the second floor porch onto the mattress. And parents were freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Walking by,
did you get grounded?
No, I don't think my mom ever found out about that one. But so much fun. I'll never forget it, right? That stuff. Yeah.
It's different. The world is different today.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different. And I, we are looking, you and I, we are looking at the world today through our childhood glasses.
Yeah.
Right. Our kids don't know what we've experienced. All they know is what they are experiencing today. And same thing, young people now, doesn't have to be children, but just the generation after us, right? They are looking at it through what they experiencing, right? And their perspective is different. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I do miss those times. I will say that. I do miss. I do miss the 30 bikes in front of the house. I do miss. Hey, I just. I had to go half a mile to see my friend and he wasn't home. Or like, I do miss these things, and I hope. I hope in some ways that this technology doesn't take a lot of this away permanently for our kids, because I do think they are missing out on some of it. And
yeah, it's hard.
At the same time, it's our job to make sure they are introduced to some of these things, no?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
these connections are so important.
Yeah. This past weekend, my daughter, sometimes I have to tell her, text your friend. Don't just watch videos. Text her, or just go over there. Just go. She, she never charges her phone. Okay, then. There's 5 houses away. Go knock on the door.
Yeah.
It was funny not that long ago, and I know this is one of the longer ones. We should wrap it up. But it wasn't that long ago where I watched her go over to this kid's house. I could stand out front and watch her go down the block.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes over there, and then she's just standing out front. Just standing. And I'm like, okay, what's she doing? I found out later, they have a front door, and then they have a side door. And she didn't know which door to go to. So she just stood there until the girl came out. She was out there for like 10 minutes.
But at the same time, this is not her fault. If she's never done this is not the life that she lives. How would she know? Nobody taught her, right? So this is why these experiences are so important.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, get off the phone and just don't talk to people.
Yeah.
Go shake hands. Go make friends. Yes. Make some connections.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.